Welcome to Two Roads Crossing, a podcast production of the Christian Veterinary Mission. Do you wonder how your faith fits together with your profession? Well, join us as we explore how to live well at the intersection of two roads crossing.
Welcome everyone to Two Roads Crossing. I'm your host Curtis Gibbs, and if you can see in the Christmas tree and Northern Lights background, I'm joined by our CVM CEO Shane Roots. Shane, welcome again to the podcast.
Hey, hi everybody. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, today we are in our last recording of 2025. This should be airing on December 31. So we're just going to have a great fun time to catch up with Shane, and he's being a good sport because he's come all the way out here to Seattle and managed to catch a cold, maybe from all that snow falling on you in your Zoom background.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's yeah, so I sound a little bit strange, but hopefully you can understand my voice.
So Shane's being a good sport to bring us to a fun end of the year, and these are listener questions from you, and we have more than we'll get to, so maybe we'll cover some in some other way, shape, or form. We thank you for sending in some fun questions, and we've got a whole list here, so I'm going to let Shane just pick a few and just answer some fun questions. And Shane's been with us for a half a year now and doing great work,
Wow.
and we're just continuing to get to know him. So
Yeah.
Shane, yeah.
That's crazy. Half a year. Time flies by so quickly. So I've got a list of questions here. First of all, thank you for sending these questions in. I'm going to answer some of them, not all of them. I'll answer as much as my voice is going to allow me to do that. So one of the questions was, have you had pets? And what is your history with animals? So had pets all throughout my entire life. Recently, we had two dogs, which I think we talked about in the last session, if I remember right. So Waffles and Brandy, both of them were cockapoos, sisters, both sisters. Had them for a long time, and sadly they passed away. And that's if you've ever had the loss of a pet, it's deeply personal and painful. And these were pets that were dogs that were puppies for our kids, so it was really emotional. And then before that, my wife's had red setters. We had a dog, Sophie, in 2000. Before that, we've had cats, and so we're actively looking for the next pet. And there's some debate as to what that pet will be, but thankfully I'm surrounded by veterinarians who can help me in that process. But I love animals and the joy that they bring. My ideal, I'd love to have a farm with some sheep and goats and horses and chickens, but right now that's out of my reach, so we will get getting some more pets.
We'll post Shane's P.O. box, so if you have extra critters around, there'll be just crates showing up with holes poked in them and all kind of stuff. Maybe for a little post-Christmas
Yeah,
thing for you there.
that'd be funny. What do you read? What are some of your favorite books, either faith-based or for pleasure? So I love reading. If I wasn't a CEO of a CVM, probably be a history major. I love history, so I love reading books on World War II and history, Roman Empire, and just historical books. I just love history. The last couple of books I've read that I actually read about 5 years ago, and I've actually reread them recently. One is The Father's Embrace by Jack Frost, which is a really good book about just embracing the father heart of God. Really encourage you to read it. The second one is A Long Way Gone, by Ishmael, not sure what his last name is.
A.B., something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is a story of a child soldier that was sort of press ganged into sectarian violence, and his whole story, and now he's come through the other side of that and is actually now an ambassador for the UN. And so really powerful story, and just reminds us again of the need in the world, and what God has called us to share his light. So it's a really good book. And I've just picked up a book. It's a business cook, and I just remember the name and it's gone right out of my head. It's about making an impact. It will come to me probably by wood thing. It's a yellow cover, but it's a really good read. So good that I can't remember the title of the book. So
That happens, especially Christmas time. You're allowed some some of that this time of year.
Let's see, what do we got? Did your children gravitate towards music or ministry or other careers? So I didn't want to be one of those dads that enforced music on my children. Wanted them to take it up if they wanted to take it up. They sing, some of them play, but they're all doing their own thing. I mentioned in my, excuse me, in my last podcast, some are going to school to be lawyers, attorneys, and some are going to school to be doctors of psychology. So and then others are in following a business logistics role. So definitely not going into ministry or other music careers at this point, but you never know.
Mhm.
And let's see what we got here. As a former worship pastor, what are my favorite or top 3 worship songs?
Ooh, that's a good question. Tough question.
Wow. Oh man, that's really hard. So I would say a modern song that I really like is Anthem. Oh, and Siri's telling me it's 1:24 p.m. So Anthem is a great song. I was part of the revival generation in the 90s. So I used to write for Worship Together before it became a website. It was a magazine. So I've done gigs with people like Matt Redman, Delirious, and all of those. So the revival generation is really important to me, or part of my history. So History Maker, if you remember that song, I love that song. And then, you know, I grew up in the Church of England, and so grew up on hymns. And so one of my all-time favorite hymns that sort of bends me to the knee every time we sing it is My Jesus, I Love Thee. And so there would be 3 top songs, but to pick 3 all-time songs, man, that's a hard thing. What about you, Curtis? You got top 3?
You know, all my mind right now is on Christmas songs. You know, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, and these songs like that, you know. But when you mentioned Matt Redman, he's a fellow British gentleman like yourself.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. I think you know, I love Christmas carols too, but you know, my favorite Christmas carol is a British, I suppose it's in British English, In the Bleak Midwinter. It's one of my favorite. What's the best Christmas gift you've ever received? Oh, that's easy. So when I was about 5 years old, I received a plastic electric guitar with its own amplifier. And God bless my mother and my siblings, because I couldn't play guitar at 5 years old, but man, did I beat that guitar, the living daylights out of it, with the amplifier on 10, because hey, that's rock and roll. And they put up with it. And that really was the start of me learning to play guitar. And my siblings finding other hobbies that were outside the house, so they didn't have to listen to it.
Yeah, that sounds like something a grandparent would have given, dropped off, and then gone back home and left it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but I had so much fun with that guitar. And it broke, but it was the start of a great
That's also
career.
rock and roll too.
Yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah. Although I didn't smash it on stage.
Oh,
So, if you could witness one of Jesus' miracles, what would it be? So I'm going to answer this 2 ways. First of all, the moment I would love to have been and seen is actually one of the things that's written about in Scripture, but no one knows actually what happened. So it's when Jesus wrote in the sand and everybody backed off. No one knows what he wrote in the sand, but whatever he wrote was powerful enough that they go, okay, we don't want to know anymore. I'd love to know what Jesus wrote in the sand. You know, what the Son of God stooped down to the earth and just wrote in the sand, and everything else just didn't matter after that. I'm always curious. A story that I love and actually fits our gratitude season is the story of the 10 lepers and healed of leprosy. You know, they get healed and only one comes back to say thank you. And as I wrote in a article for the staff here recently. Before you can walk into your future, you need to walk back into your past and thank Jesus for the moment he met you in your life so that you can walk into the future. Gratitude is the start of everything. Worship starts with gratitude. And I love that story of how, none of them just went on their life as no big deal. They've just been healed. And yet one came back, and before he started his future, he came back to the one who erased his past so he could go into the future. I think it's a powerful, powerful story. And I believe, Curtis, you're the pastor here. So I believe it's Luke, Book of Luke, I think it is.
Yeah, I think so, but I get all crossed up on all the parables too. There's those great charts out there, and I recommend them for people that are like which parable appears in which gospel, and it's always fun to see who decided to put some of them in and leave some of them out, or whatever.
Well, I'm going to park my flag in the Book of Luke. So if I'm wrong,
Love it.
let me know. All right. So where we got? Did your children? What have you read? We've done that. How many pets? Christmas gift. What about sports? What do you watch? Oh, this is good. So I love American football, but I only watch American football in detail. One, if it's the Chiefs playing, because I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, although we didn't have a very good year this year. But I really love watching the playoffs because I feel like they're playing for something in the playoffs. When mid-season, maybe not so much. I know American football fans will disagree with me on that, so that's fine. But my ultimate sport, I had the opportunity to play at a high level, is what you would call soccer, I would call football. And so I love watching football. And I jokingly say that if it's possible to lose your salvation, it might be when I'm watching football. Especially when England are playing. But I love watching football. And of course, next year the World Cup is coming to America, and so I really encourage you to go to a game if you can. And I believe some of the games are going to be in Seattle, so that's going to be fun.
There too. I'm trying for tickets already.
Wow.
So who's your premier? I guess you have a Premier League favorite as well.
Probably. Yeah, that's pretty sad right now. So I have two teams in the Premier League. My dad is from London, actually West Ham. So I love watching West Ham play, but they're pretty poor right now. They're in the lower three that are going to get relegated unless they start winning some games. And then my team that I support is Manchester United, and they're not doing very well at all either. So, so my choice of football teams right now is not the best in the world.
That's all right. Man United has good years.
Yeah, it does. It's a good club, but they're not playing very well right now. And let me. So another question: would you rather be present at Jesus' birth or his resurrection? Wow, that's a hard question. I would like to take a different twist on it. I would love to have been in the throne room of heaven when Jesus and God were having a conversation about Jesus coming to the earth, knowing what it was going to cost. I'd love to have been present for that conversation. But if I had to choose the two, Jesus' birth or resurrection, you don't have resurrection without birth. So I think I would choose the Christmas nativity scene, and the birth of Jesus and all the wonder and awesomeness, angels appearing to shepherds and wise men coming from afar bearing gifts, and think about it, the birth of Christ was after 400 years of silence. Isaiah, I think it's Isaiah 9:6, for to born as a wonderful counselor, Prince of Peace, everlasting Father. That was a prophecy that was about to happen, but it didn't happen for 400 years. So the moment of Jesus being birthed in a stable, not in riches, but in a cowshed, in manure and with animals and cold, and all of that is very, very special. And we should never lose sight of the wonder and the awesomeness of that. Let's see. Let's take one more. What do you see being the future of technology and AI in ministry? Is this a good or dangerous thing? So that's such that we could have probably a podcast.
I was about to say you didn't bite off a.
So we could have
easy one there.
Yeah, no, we could have a podcast now. Here's what I would
Probably
say.
should too.
Yeah, we should. So we have to constantly evolve as an organization because technology is constantly evolving. But that doesn't mean that technology is our God. Our God is Jehovah. And so we always lead how he calls us to, but we'll always use the tools around us to make the impact that he's calling us to do. Now, what I want to say very directly with AI, I love the technology, but AI is not God. And a lot of people use AI to talk to, and I understand that. But not all of the information that AI gives is credible, and nothing can take place of you and I sitting down with the Father and just having a chat with God. And so AI in ministry has its place. I know there are people that use it for writing sermons and things like that. I think if you've written a sermon and you want it to help you correct some grammar, that's good. But writing a sermon should come from the heart, not from a techno box. So it has its place, but AI in general and AI ethics, that's a whole conversation. And gladly have that conversation with you, Curtis, on a different podcast. But we shouldn't shy away from AI, but we should use it with some integrity and with some sensibility.
Yeah, no, totally. A lot to continue to learn about it too. Yeah.
And let's take one more. How are you and your wife similar, and how are you different? Well, first of all, she's more beautiful than I'll ever be, and more intelligent than I'll ever be. I often say when I've counseled people that counseled other marriages, that there are seasons when I'm grace and she's truth, and there are times when she's grace and I'm truth. And I think we play on each other in a really dynamic way in that. But she is incredible. And I think some of you got to meet her at the conference. I'm jealous because she's got hair and I haven't. But my wife is my rock, and she sees things that I don't see. So she's very discerning, very wise, and I love her dearly. And I'm looking forward to spending some time with her and my kids over Christmas. And then last one, excuse me, as my voice holds out here. What do you do in your off time for fun? So I love watching soccer. I love hanging out with my family, and my ideal happy place would be walking along the beach when it's sunny and the water's lapping around your ankles, and just spending some time with God, and just that would be it. But I don't you know, I used to love skiing, but I don't ski anymore. I used to love single kayaking down Class 5 rapids. I don't do that anymore, mainly because of time. I used to love playing golf. Don't do that anymore, just because A, it's expensive, and B, who's got time for 5 hours on a golf course? Well, maybe Curtis has time. I'm not sure.
Play about once a year, but I'm always like, man, that was fun. Why don't I do this more often?
Yeah. So,
There's another year.
but anyway, I hope that gets you a little bit into my insight. I love this CVM family. I love what God is shaping us and challenging us and transforming us to be. I hope to meet some of you this year at some of the Real Life Real Impacts and throughout different things. But you can always email me direct if you want to connect. I'd love to connect with you. And just thank you for the questions. Keep them coming. And I hopefully next time we do this, I won't have a bad throat. So thank you.
Thank you, Shane. And yeah, you guys can email podcast at cvm.org or just me at cgibbs at cvm. And we posted this and got some responses there on social media and other platforms. But you can always get to know Shane at some of these events. And as we spin it forward into 2026, it's a big year for CVM. We've got our 50th anniversary. We got especially celebrate that internationally with our field workers to an event in Turkey that people are open up to in April, that others can come for part of that, but also a big conference in November in Louisville. We really would love to have everybody out at that. Shane will be there, and it'll just be a great celebration. So just encourage you to look to where you can be plugged into CVM in this coming year of 2026. But even more so, just challenge you and encourage everyone in their faith to take a next step on your faith journey, whatever that might be. And Shane, we're glad that you're here with us, and
Thank
we're
you,
so
sir.
glad you answered some of these fun and serious questions, even despite being under the weather. So really
So-
appreciate you being on the pod.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful Christmas.
Amen. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Two Roads Crossing, a podcast production of the Christian Veterinary Mission. If you were blessed by this content, like and subscribe so that you are alerted when new content is released. If you would like more information about CVM, or if you have questions, comments, or topical suggestions, you can find us online at www.cvm.org. Or you can contact us by emailing podcast@cvm.org. God has a plan for the nations, and that plan includes you. We pray that CVM has encouraged you to live out your calling with confidence and competence. So, until next time, may the voice of the shepherd ring loud and clear as you follow him in faith to the intersection of two roads crossing.